Silent Hooks, Episode 7, When Help Feels Holy, Season 3, The Faithful Pretender. If you or someone you know has been a victim of scams, this series is for you. Grace looked down at her hands before speaking. I need to confess something. He never asked me for anything. I was the one who offered. Silence settled over the form room. I gave him money. I thought it felt like the right thing, almost like a calling. Grace swallowed hard. We had been talking for months. He shared little struggles like how his hours were cut at work, how bills were piling up. But he always brushed it off, saying, "It's in God's hands. I trust He'll provide." He never said, "Grace, send me money." Not once. But hearing his situation and the faith he showed, I felt this urge inside me. Maybe I'm meant to help, I thought. Grace paused, her voice cracking slightly. It felt holy to help him, like I was placed there for a reason. Emily leaned forward slightly, her voice soft. That's exactly what it feels like when they do it right. They build a situation you can't walk away from. Omari tapped a few keys on his laptop. Confirmed. Classic emotional engineering phase 3. Indirect solicitation through pain disclosure. David looked over at the group. They don't directly ask. They disclose pain. They show faith. They wait for the victim's heart to fill in the gap. Grace took a deep breath. I told him I wanted to help with his overdue utility bill. He acted surprised, hesitant. He said, "Are you sure? I don't want to burden you." Grace closed her eyes briefly. That made me even more determined. I insisted, and he finally accepted. Said my help was an answer to his prayers. Ethan leaned into the mic. Reinforcement loop complete. Victim-initiated action. Victim persuaded scammer. Victim locked into emotional loyalty. Emma sat up straighter, her tone gentle but firm. This is why it feels so real. Because at no point did he look like he was asking, you were living your values. He just created the stage for it. Rachel typed quietly into the chat. It's evil in its sophistication, because it feels holy when you step in. It feels like you're obeying your conscience, not being led into a trap. Omari nodded. They script it so the victim feels ownership of the generosity, which means when doubt comes later, it's easier to silence it. You weren't pressured. You chose. Or at least it felt like you did. David scrolled through his notes. There's a psychological term for this, self-justifying generosity. When you give, especially voluntarily, your mind commits even harder to believing the recipient is worthy. Otherwise, your kindness feels wasted, and we're wired to defend our own goodness. Ethan added quietly, so the first gift? It's not just money. It's emotional cement. Grace looked around the group, tears shimmering in her eyes, but her voice steady now. I see it now. It wasn't a coincidence. It wasn't a blessing. It was a setup. Emma spoke clearly into the quiet. And speaking the truth about it, Grace, that's taking the hook out. Grace nodded slowly. I don't want to be ashamed anymore. I want to be aware. End of Episode 7. Next on, Silent Hooks, Season 3, The Faithful Pretender. As Grace's story settles, another survivor lifts her hand in the forum. Moved by Grace's courage, she begins to share her own experience. A new scam, a new predator, a new lie wrapped in faith. Coming soon, Silent Hooks, The Faithful Pretender. Episode 8, The Light You Carry. Don't miss it.